All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
A 45-year-old man is divorcing his wife after she did this at an Usher concert. Now, Usher's notorious for stopping mid-concert and trying to seduce someone that he finds in the audience. And last night, he picked this married woman, and immediately you can tell it's working. And after doing this for a full minute with her, he eventually took out a pair of cherries and had her do this to them. Now, when the husband saw this clip, he immediately announced online that he's going to be divorcing her, saying that when they're together in public, she's too hesitant to even kiss him, and that he was shocked to see that she was willing to do this with, quote, a complete stranger in front of 20,000 people. Personally, I think being married and doing this with someone that is not your spouse crosses a line, but that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and make sure to follow if you want to stay up to date with the latest news.
Chris Brown has reacted to a husband divorcing his wife after he invited her for a dance on stage. The story started after a woman reportedly paid more than $20,000 for one of Chris Brown's VIP stage experiences while telling her husband she was spending the weekend at her mother's house. During the concert, Chris brought her on stage as part of his performance of Take You Down, and videos of the moment quickly started spreading across social media. That's when everything changed. Her husband later came across the viral clips and posted his own response online. In the video, he questioned why she thought getting on stage with Chris wouldn't have consequences and revealed that he'd packed up her belongings. Honestly, I can understand why he was upset. From his perspective, it wasn't just about the performance. It was the fact that she had made up a story about where she was, and he only found out through a video while everyone else was watching online. Now, Chris has weighed in underneath a post about the situation, leaving nothing but a laughing emoji. I actually think that response will divide some people. Some will see it as Chris simply laughing at the internet's reaction, while others will think it's insensitive considering a real relationship appears to have fallen apart over the situation. But before you go, I want to know, was the husband right to leave her?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
A woman was kicked out of her home by her husband after spending more than $20,000 to perform on stage with Chris Brown. A viral TikTok claims the man ended the relationship after seeing a video of his wife taking part in a VIP experience during a Chris Brown concert. In the clip, the woman appears to smile while Chris Brown performs closely behind her on stage. Her husband later posted a video showing him throwing her belongings outside and telling her to leave their home. The situation became even more controversial after online posts claimed the woman used more than $20,000 from the couple's shared savings account for the concert experience. Many viewers supported the husband, saying the performance crossed a serious boundary and showed a lack of respect for their marriage. Some said spending such a large amount of shared money without agreement was an even bigger problem. Others argued that the husband should have handled the situation privately instead of posting her belongings online. They also warned people not to treat every viral claim as confirmed fact. The story has divided social media, with users debating whether the wife's actions justified ending the marriage or whether the husband's public reaction went too far. What do you think?
This is the book of Sirach, where Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 25, and it reads, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, in teaching me this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth, week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazov from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. And man, you know, these Chris Brown and Usher concerts are really, you know, getting out of hand. Something's going to go real bad at those things. You know, do you blame them? Yes, you can, especially if they know that the woman is married. But it's more so on the woman. You know, that's why the scripture comes out, you know, in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, when Solomon took that survey of 1,000 men, he found one righteous. Of 1,000 women, he found none righteous. Okay. And for you husbands, you know, hey, like the scripture says, give the water no passage. Neither let a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. You know, if you don't have water restrained, you know, or contained to a degree, you know, hey, it's going to get out and you know, and ruin everything. All right. That's the case here. You know, any one of you ever experienced a frozen pipe that burst? Oh man, you know, once that pipe bursts, that water's going everywhere and fucks everything up. All right. Same thing with this wicked woman, but things gonna get fucked up as you. You know, this man for not putting his foot down. All right. But you know, that's just no respect for that man. You know, the one who spent the $20,000, the one who allowed herself to get seduced, and the one who's literally kissing the man. You know, and they thought that they did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. This is Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 20. And it reads, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I've done no wickedness. All right. And here it is. You know, you hear every day men telling women that they're not taking accountability. For you to say you saw nothing wrong with that and that's your husband, that's a problem. That's no accountability, even with all of the evidence, you know, there for everyone to see, you know. But there's a price for that, you know. And hey, if you know those two, and when I say those two, Chris Brown and Usher, feel that hey, you know, they're not going to refuse guests even though they're married, well, you know, there's a penalty for them too. All right. And it's not going to be good. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 9. I believe it's verse 9. Yeah. I'll start at verse 8. It says, and this is for, you know, the men that, you know, are entertaining married women under any circumstances. Verse 8, it says, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire. All right. Like he said in one of those videos I saw, hey man, she was fine. I had to get her up there. You know, Chris Brown, I believe it was one of Chris Brown said, yeah, I had to get her up there. Now, man, that's somebody's wife. All right. And that's a death sentence, which I'm going to get to. Verse 9, it says, sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in her arms, and use more than sitting down with her arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. All right. Now, of course, you had a lot of more options, but hey, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen when you open the door up for wickedness like that. Something is bound to happen. All right. And I'm telling you, you know, y'all gonna catch the wrong husband on the wrong day, but he shouldn't be there either. You know, this world is just wicked, man. And you know, we're all being tested right now. For real. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6. I'm starting at verse Let's see here. Verse 27. And it reads, can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Absolutely not. Verse 28. Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? Absolutely not. Verse 29. So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. And that word shall means inevitable. It must happen. It says you will not be innocent. All right. Verse 30. It says, men do not despise a thief if he steal to justify his soul when he is hungry. All right. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. All right. That's it. You stole it. You got to return it and then some. All right. But you good. Here's the next one. Verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. All right. It's talking about you, Chris and Usher. Destroy your own soul. Okay. And adultery with a woman, that means that woman is already married. Okay. And this is, not talking about the current marriage of the United States, because you remember, as the Israelites, this marriage over here wasn't recognized until the 14th Amendment. Okay, 1868. So what was our custom of marriage before then? It was sex. All right. So if a man went in unto a woman, he was married to her. All right. That's why boyfriends be losing it. They don't know it literally according to the scriptures, but that's what happens. All right. It says, but whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, and he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. And you can look at that twofold, from the literal standpoint between husband and wife, and what we allowed other gods to do, other things that turn away our heart from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, we destroyed our soul, destroyed ourselves with that, with the curses. All right, it says, a wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. Did you hear that, Chris and Usher? When somebody gets fed up, they coming after you. And it won't be just you. All right. Verse 34. It says, for jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. All right. And that's just not talking to the man. It's also talking to the adulterous woman too. Okay. It's talking to her as well. Let's prove that before I finish this. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. It says, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer, which is the man, and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. There's that word shall again. It is inevitable that you will be put to death. All right. Now, back in the ancient days, that would have happened right away. But don't get too comfortable, because we have to give an account for all of our actions. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8. Verse 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work, adultery, is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So them women gonna keep doing that shit again. Chris Brown and Usher gonna keep doing it again. All right. It says, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which fear before him. It says, well, here's the point. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feared not before Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So you know it's wrong to be doing those things with another man's wife, but you continue doing them because ain't nothing happened yet, but it's going to happen. All right. This is and I'm, that's talking to you women too. I'll get to that. Back to Proverbs 6:35. All right. It said, verse 34 again, for jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom. Okay. Neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So like that thief just above who stole to feed himself, once he paid that debt, he was done. But when you commit adultery with another man's wife, no, he gonna hunt your ass down. All right. A true man's gonna hunt your ass down, especially if you knew. All right. Especially if you knew. But once again, like I said, you women going to these concerts, you are not exempt either. All right. I'm gonna prove that when that judgment comes. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, beginning at verse 4. And it reads, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men, that's the elect and the prophets, that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right. And adultery is a huge abomination. All right. Adultery for a man is sleeping with another man's wife. Adultery for a woman is sleeping with any other man other than her husband. A woman is supposed to have one man for the rest of her life. When that man dies, she's done. I'll get that later on too. It says, verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. All right. It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Okay. That's his people, Israel. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, you leaders. All right. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. All right. So a lot of you all are going to catch hell. The Lord is sick of your shit. All right. Specifically talking about you wives. He gonna trod y'all down. All right. This is the book of Micah. Seven and 10. It says, and then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, for which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? So you know who the Lord is. But now you mocking, saying, where is he? You know, it says, mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Okay? She be trodden down like mud. All right? Point blank, period. Because she mocking. She's got, you know, a lot of women, they're wicked. A lot of them don't have fear of the Lord until it's too late. All right? But those two dudes, man, you know, Lord got something for y'all. You know, He's got something for y'all. You know, and you know, gonna let them women get you in trouble. All right, this is First Ezra 4. I want to say 26. It says, yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished and erred and sinned for women. All right. Yeah. Committed adultery. Death. That's what the wages of sin is, death. All right. You talking about you never turn down a customer. Yeah. It just may cost you. All right. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching me this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like it to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, Abba Babal. Shalom, we got next.